So welcome and good morning, everyone. My name is Stephanie Epstein. I am the president of the Ukulele Kids Club, as well as a pediatric music therapist down here in Miami, Florida. So for those of you who it is your first time with us, welcome. A little bit about the Ukulele Kids Club. So the UKC is a nonprofit that donates ukuleles to pediatric therapy programs, as well as supports the field of music therapy with the mission of giving the gift of music for life. So our mission encompasses a few different things. So first, of course, we donate ukuleles to hospitalized children through the music therapy programs. Second, we also are just launching our brand new UKC at Home program. So this is to help support all of the children and families that we work with once they're discharged from the hospital or just in between their admissions. So this is a combination of the UKC Academy classes that we offer every month and soon to be twice a month, as well as free ukulele tutorials through Uketropolis, which if you've never checked out Uketropolis, definitely check it out. It is an absolutely incredible program. And then a few other really exciting things coming down the pipeline that we can't announce yet because it's not public, but lots of some other really cool, exciting things happening as well. So if you would like to know more about the Ukulele Kids Club, you can check out the website at ukc.org, follow us on social media, or in any of those things as well. Oh, and of course, providing free ukulele resources to all of our music therapists, children, greater ukulele community, and all of those are free and can be found on the website as well under our general resources tab. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Daniel Ward. I had the honor of meeting Daniel through his wife Heidi, through Stuart Yoshida, who is teaching our UKC Academy course next month. And Daniel and Heidi sent me a few of his ukulele methods books that are different meditations and arpeggios on the ukulele that I immediately fell in love with, and immediately contacted Daniel and was like, I need you to teach a class. Please ask him to teach a class, because they're so easily accessible, and they are so fantastic, not only for your own personal ukulele skills, but to be able to use with others. So for those of you who are music therapists, or maybe you work with others, or maybe you're volunteers, and you go places to play for people, these are so fantastic to use for meditations and relaxation and mindfulness exercises, but also to use for yourself. When I was playing them, I just found myself just completely relaxing. So I am so excited for this class. So a little bit about Daniel, and I'll let him tell the rest about himself because he can explain himself better than I can, of course. But Daniel is an extremely accomplished musician who has played and performed with world music, jazz, rock, and holds a degree in both classical guitar and composition. So he's toured with flamenco dance groups, different heavy metal, vaudeville bands, pretty much everything from every aspect of music, which is just really incredible. I think that really comes through in his playing and his teaching. He really kind of pulls from all of these different genres, which just makes him so unique and so amazing. But I'm going to let him, of course, kind of give the rest of his, but you can check out his website at danielward.net. All of his books and materials are available for purchase on his website, as well as, of course, recordings and pictures and videos and all things. So without further ado, Daniel Ward.
Yay, thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Morning for some of us is earlier than others. I see some West Coasters. It's only 9 here in New Mexico. I'm at my mom's in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Very exciting. I just put my high G back on my string. If you have a low G, it'll be fine for this class too. Don't worry about it. What we're going to do is we're going to go through probably just the first 2 songs that are in the packet there, and I'll talk a little bit about how to practice the other ones when we're done. But what we're going to do is center our tone. So the hand that speaks, I call it, the hand that's on the strings, we're going to learn how to just do a simple arpeggio by going thumb, index, middle, ring. So just put your fingers on all 4 of the strings and find that spot where your nail and your flesh meet just a hair, and just dig in and feel that really lightly. Kind of instead of right over the fretboard, I try to go right behind it, so I'm digging in behind the sound hole, okay? And basically we're just gonna go thumb, index, middle, ring. Just try that a couple times. Put your fingers on the strings really lightly and just let them kind of pop like this. Thumb, and then they pull up. Now notice, I'm actually moving from the big joint, not from these little guys. If you grab at them, you get that kind of action, and it doesn't sound so nice. It's almost like a piano hammer. Whack. You take the big joint, even if you just slap the inside of your wrist like this, you'll get the feel of using the big joint right here on your hand. And then just as if there's a little fishing line tied to your middle finger, just pull on it from behind and you'll feel it twitch. That's the power of that big muscle there. Not having to do hardly any work and getting a big tone and a stroke as it goes. See how they kind of pop up into my palm? And sometimes I'll even do it like this. I'll put my ukulele straight so I can really look at how it once you get used to that, go the way that you normally play. 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3. This is just open strings. And try to get each one to have its own little bell tone as it pops there. Now while you're playing along with me, let's play too loud and really pick the strings like, and then go super quiet, and you'll feel the back of your wrist relax when you go really quiet like that. So I'm adding tension, and then really, really quiet, and you'll feel the back of your wrist calm down. Now I'm going to play a little bit louder again, but I'm not going to let that tension back. I'm just going to let them pop. And let your hand stay there and make a nice big kind of medium loud tone. And what we're doing is we're just figuring out where the string is by feel. If you do this for 5 to 20 minutes on the exercises, believe it or not, the next day you're right there and you're making beautiful tone and you feel right where the strings are. So we're going to come back to that, but first let's learn Arpeggio Meditation. It's the first one in the little packet that we sent out. Let's learn the chords. Here's a C chord, but notice I'm playing it with my pinky. That seems weird, but you'll know why at the end. So go ahead and play a C chord with your pinky. Now, take your ring finger and take your pinky off and just move that to where you're playing a C major 7th. That's open, open, open 2. Now leave it there, reach across, and put your middle finger on A minor chord, but leave it, it's going to give us a little A minor 9 sound. Now put your pinky back on C, but leave the A minor down. Leave those two guys there, and we're going to add an F chord underneath that. Now leave your pinky and your first finger down and just move your ring finger or your middle finger right there. So it's just moving up 1. So that went from F with a C on top. Move your middle finger down 1 string. That's a G7 sus, which is going to resolve right to a normal G7. There you go. Now go back to C with your pinky. And this is why we use the pinky for we're going to play an F minor. This might be a new chord for some of you, but it's not terribly hard if you get your thumb behind the neck instead of here, and then put your pinky there, and you're going to play first fret, open, first fret, pinky on third. This is turning the 4 chord into minor, which is a fancy movie ending trick. Heartstrings. And then back to C, so just let those off, you see? And we're at the beginning of the song. So let's try this. We're gonna go now with the picking pattern, 4, 3, 2, with a C chord. And just follow along. We're not going to change in time. We're just going to go chord to chord. Now I'm going to put the next chord on. Ring finger on 2. Now, if you have those chord boxes in front of you, it'll make it easier. Now that A minor 9. Now put the C back on, but leave the A minor. And we're going to sneak that F chord underneath. Here it comes. G7 sus, move this one down 1 string. And then right away we're going to go to a G7 and resolve that back to C with your pinky. And get your thumb behind the neck so we can reach for that F minor. Here's that sound. Here comes the F minor. And back to C. That's trying to go down on me there. Okay, so let me play it for you once. Just listen, and here's how it goes. I'm going to play a little quicker. Right away, you can hear the music starting to happen. Bum, bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. There's a little melody stuck in there. Dum, dum. If you have a low G, it won't sound quite like that, but it'll still be fine. I can even start adding. I'm going to get a little louder like we did. And I'm going to get quieter. Here's the C again. So I'm going loud and soft. Here's the F minor. Okay, there's a lot of music to be had just from that simple grouping of chords. And then as you play through the arpeggio over and over and over, try to hear the best sound you can and just pull that beautiful bell tone out of the strings and keep yourself relaxed, especially. And the other thing you need to do, believe it or not, is breathe. Everyone try this with me. We're going to play the whole song 3 times in a row. And this is going to give you a feeling of how the meditations work when you keep looping it over and over. So take a nice big deep breath, and let's start with the C chord. And we'll just start cycling this. And I'll tell you when we're starting the beginning of the song. Get used to breathing. Yes, you can breathe and practice at the same time. Okay, here we go. Here's the C chord. 2, 3, 4. C, bum, bum. C major 7. Reach for the A minor 9. Pinky back on C. F underneath that. And then G7 sus. And immediately resolve that. So that one goes a little quicker. And back to C. Watch your thumb and reach for the F minor. There you go. Back to the top. Here's C. And you can even start putting some music in. Here's C major 7. I'm getting louder towards the A minor 9. Maybe a little softer there. Just mess around and do it the way you want. Hit C on top. Just for fun, I'm going to make this F really quiet. And get louder again. G7 sus. 2 G7. Back to C. Then the F minor. Ba-bum. Back to the beginning. Number 3. And I'll just shut up for a while and we'll play this. Yay, everybody. So that's how it feels to just loop and loop. And if you do that 20 times, you get into this kind of state where you breathe nicely. You start to notice your tone. You start to notice loud and soft, and you can speed up and slow down. You're free to actually start making music. And one of the things about making music while you practice, instead of just, I'm going to get good at this technique and then I can make some music. No, put your brain right into making the music, and your ear will start controlling what you hear rather than just playing and then hearing back what's happening. That's a big, big, big change when you practice, is making, singing along with it. I always do that. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, dum, bum, bum, bum. Anything you can do to add to the music is actually going to increase your skill level on all fronts, especially if your ear is the one in control. Okay? So let's switch gears completely. And we're going to go to floating loop, which is the number 2 song on there. Once again, I'm going to go flat, and I'm going to show you the new picking pattern for the right hand, or left hand, if you are left-handed. So let's take all these fingers and put them on the strings again. And what we're going to do is we're going to go thumb, index, just like we did before, but this time, these two are going to play together, these middle guys. So we're going to go thumb, index, plink, and those 2 first strings sound together. 4, 3, 1 and 2. Everyone try that. And all we do is add 1 more index on the way back, and we get a pattern of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 beats. So let's try that nice and slow. Thumb, index, plink, index, thumb, index, plink, index. It takes a little while to get used to. And the song, the thirds, are going to move up and down the neck in a way that makes that plink into kind of the melodic changing of the. Okay, we'll come back to that. Let's learn the chords now. And they're very, very easy, but they do move up the neck. So let's play. This is a C major 7th, but this one is open, open, 3-2. Fret-wise, and I'm playing it with my middle finger and my index. It's a pretty easy chord. Looks like kind of like part of a G chord. We're just moving. Then we're going to take this whole thing and we're going to move it up to where the first finger is on the 5th fret and your ring finger now is on the 7th fret. And just turn it into a C major 9. So everyone try that with me. We're going to go C major 7, and then leave your first finger so it can kind of slip up on the first string, and then put your ring finger down on 7 on the second string. Just go back and forth and check that out. Now from here, jump to an F chord, but put the C on top with your pinky, or if your ring, if you like. Pinky makes it pretty easy. And we saw this in the last exercise too. So let's try this. C major 7th, jump all the way to C major 9. 5 and 7, now F with C on top. And we're going to stay there for a little bit. Same thing, C major 7, C major 9, and then F with a friend, with C on top there. The second part of the song is really easy. Just drop your first finger. It'll give you an A minor. We saw that in the last song. Go to an E minor, which is open, 4, 3, 2. And we're going to land on that F with the C on top again. And just hang out there for a bit. Same thing. First finger takes a holiday there. Now E minor. And then F. Now this may be a new chord, but it's super easy. Take your pinky and slide it up to 5, because it was just on 3. And then we're going to fill in the rest of where a G chord would be. So it's going to be open, 2, 3, 5. And this gives us an open chord with no third. It sounds like a mandolin tuning. It's all fifths. I call it the mandolin G. Okay, and that's all the chords in the whole thing. So let's go super slow, and let's add this back. Thumb, index, plink, index, thumb, index, plink, index, thumb, and plink, and... So just keep that going, because it's not going to change the whole time. And let's put that C major 7 on. Remember to make a nice tone, and breathe. Okay, jump up to the 5th fret and 7th fret. Now F with a C on top. And you can even put the F down and then put the C. You don't have to jump all at once, because it comes after the first beat. Same thing, C major 7. And if you've been playing for a while, you can even put some vibrato on these, like this. You hear that? It sounds really pretty. Now the F with the C on top. Now lose your first finger. A minor. Get ready for the E minor. And we're going to hit the F again with the C. And stay there for a bit. Same thing. Here we go. And A minor with a C on top. Go to the E minor. Now the F. And then move towards that weird, just move your pinky up and find that mandolin G. And that's the whole thing. So I'll play it for you once. Just listen, or you can play along. It doesn't really matter since we're on Zoom. I'm used to doing that in the classes when everyone's there. Just listen for a second, but... Here's the second half. Now, almost feels like you're going downhill like this. And you hit the bottom, and it goes up just a little bit, and back to the beginning. Did a little slidey string thing there, down the hill, and then we stop for a bit, same thing. Okay, so that one's super simple too, but there's a lot of music to be had. And one of the things I'm going to show you now is how to add these songs together, okay? But first, let's play this 3 times like we did the Arpeggio Meditation. So here we go, nice and slow. Find your first chord. We're going to go thumb and plink and thumb, index together, index, thumb and plink. Make a nice tone. Now go to the C major 9. Now back to the F with the C on top. And we stay there for a bit. Now C major 7. Up the neck. F again. Now we're going to get ready for the descent. A minor, going to E minor. And we rest on F for a bit. Breathe. A minor. E minor. Then the F again. This time we go up to the mandolin G. Slide up your pinky and finish that out. Back to the beginning. C major 9, up the neck. Now the F. C major 7. Slide up. Here comes the A minor. E minor. And F. Stay there for twice as long. One more time. A minor. E minor. F. And get ready for the G. Here's the mandolin G. One more time around. C major 7. C major 9. And the F. C major 7. Up to 9. F. A minor. E minor. F. A minor. And here's the F. Up to the G. And we end on C. Yay! So you can see there's a lot of practice to be done, even with some simple chords in your right hand. We're actually tricking ourselves into practicing right hand over and over and over. Because if we just did this all day, you'd probably go crazy. But we're making a more solid tone every time you get through it, and then your ears wake up and you can start making music. So let me show you a cool thing with changing the picking pattern. So go back to Arpeggio Meditations, if you've got the music there. Now, when I switch to the C major 7 here, the second chord, I'm going to use the picking pattern from Floating Loop. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to flip each time. Check out how this sounds. Here's the picking pad. This one is not in the book, so and you can also do it with floating loop. So you can work your right hand in between patterns, and that's really a fun way to get better at stuff, and it rewires your brain quite a bit to, you know, take an A pattern, then switch to B and go back and forth, or wherever you feel like it. You can play the whole song. And maybe just put it right in. You know, so set up the next section. So now you're just using your ear, and you're going to pick any pattern you want in your right hand. So you just go through the book and develop that ability to pick the pattern that you like. There's a Travis pick in there. There's all sorts of other stuff. Let's look at what's it called? The fourth one in there, air pudding, which that actually comes from a Doonesbury cartoon when New Age music first came out. So this one is a little bit of a tongue twister, and I'll show you how to practice it. And we won't go through this whole song because I don't want to get people in the habit of playing too fast and getting something wrong. Let me talk a little bit about that. If you learn a pattern or a part of a song and you make a mistake, your brain does not register that as a mistake. It actually, the neurons learn it, and if you make a mistake, you have to unlearn it because it's in there. And you know, my music teacher said you have to go over and over it with a tractor about 7 times to smooth out the spot that happened. So if you practice too fast and you always kind of run into mistakes and try things over and over, you will be learning that into your nerve connections. It's no fun to have to undo that. So playing really slow and not making a mistake is the way to fix that. So my teacher used to tell me, flamenco teacher especially, if you make a mistake, you are going too fast, period. And that is kind of crazy. It's like, well, people make mistakes. It's like, yeah, but if you practice slow enough, then it'll be inside your whole system. And when you go faster, it'll be easy because you already have it. It's not a matter of being able to go faster. It's a matter of learning it right and then applying it. Okay, so let's take this pattern and let's take it really slow. It's going to go thumb, index, middle, thumb. We're going to go 4, 3, 2, 4 as the strings, and just do it with me. Thumb, index, middle finger, thumb. 4, 3, 2, 4. That's pretty easy, right? The second half of the thing starts with your ring finger on the A string, on the first string, and then thumb on the G. So we're going to go outside string, both of them, and inside strings, we're going to go middle, index. Let's try that. Ring, thumb, middle, index. I also sing outside strings, inside strings. They make it easier to look at. So outside, inside. Okay? Now, if you put those two together as an A and a B pattern, you're going to get thumb, index, middle, thumb. Get ready for outside, inside. Ring, thumb, middle, index. And just do that so slowly that you don't make a mistake as you speed it up. So you don't have to play along with me if it's going a little too quickly, but just think about it. And the real fun comes when you repeat that pattern. And I would suggest even before you learn floating loop, since you already know Arpeggio Meditation, you'll get that pattern in your right hand. Now, floating loop has some cool chords. They're very easy. Let me play it for you. I'll speed it up slowly. And the way the high G works, it puts notes right next to each other, so it sounds like you're playing a scale, bel canto style. So I'm gonna go 4, 3, 2, 4, outside strings, inside strings, bum, bum, bum. And this chord is just 2nd fret, 3rd string. That's it. That's the entire thing. Now, I'm going to play the whole song for you, but don't practice this whole song until you got your right hand to where you're not making a mistake on that pattern. Just let it roll over and over and over on one chord until it feels right. Until you got this thing 1, 2, 3, 4, outside, inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, outside, inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, outside, inside. Okay? So here, I'll play it for you. It's kind of like rolling sort of sound. Here's a cool chord. Right here, there's a little pull-off thing that changes. So that's that tune. It's really pretty, but don't go get after it until your right hand is really lined up for that one, okay? So that's pretty much my plan, was to just make you practice with me the whole time. And then I've got about 5 minutes for questions and stuff. If you guys feel like you need to ask me something or just say something, or we can hang out and have coffee for 5 minutes. And but the whole idea is just to really, really focus on your ear and let that become the master of how you practice. Okay? So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. I really loved how you brought up the fact that we can utilize all of those different accompaniment patterns with all of the different chord progressions. Like it's like a whole like mix and match situation. So even though you say, okay, I only know 3 songs, but really we know so much more than that, because we can mix and match and even change the different accompaniment patterns in the middle. So I love that. I hadn't even thought of that.
I mean, even if you go, oh, my sunshine, my only sunshine, you make me happy. That's with the, floating. Any of those will work on any song that you want. You can just go.
I love that. I love that. All right. If you have questions, please, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask any questions that you may have. Oh, Marlene, sorry, one question from the chat. Marlene says, once you master the progressions, how do you apply them during meditation?
Well, if you memorize it, then you can just sit anywhere you want in a comfortable place and make music. Like I said, you can pull more volume out of certain parts, you can speed up and slow down, and then just that's a meditation in itself. Is almost the words just disappear and you start playing music. And you'll use that with not just the songs that you memorize, but it applies to every song that you learn and sing. The same technique of just kind of having a center and then playing music.
I love that. Looks like Julia has a question.
Thank you, Daniel. That was very wonderful. I just wanted to ask if the session was going to be recorded so that we could watch it again, because there was a lot of information there. That's great.
Yes.
I think it was lovely. Thank you. Afraid I have to go. Okay.
Sorry, if you had registered for the class, then I already have your contact info, and so you'll be on the list to send it out. If you didn't register on Eventbrite, just go ahead and send me an email. I'll drop it right in the chat right now, but it's just stephanie@theukc.org. That way I can make sure I get you on the list to get the recording.
That would be wonderful. Thank you, Daniel. I'm going to go and chat to my grandson in the Netherlands now. So he loves the ukulele. Thank you. Bye bye.
Fantastic. I see a question here about supporting with your pinky, and this is a really, really good point. So there's all sorts of amazing players that use support and do all sorts of stuff. The thing you need to understand about that is that your middle finger and your ring finger are on the same tendon. So everybody try this. Put your pinky down as a support, and then these three fingers work fantastically. But see what happens with this guy? You feel that it's just completely locked, and it'll hurt and it'll cause problems later. If you're trying to use your ring finger a lot in your picking, the support will slow you down and it'll probably cause a tendon problem. So I don't do that. I float, and then I use the other fingers to support. Sometimes I'll even touch with my thumb. Once you do this enough, you really know where the strings are. It's like typing without knowing where the keys are, which I'm terrible at, but but the support for me, it just makes the ring finger work 8 times too hard and might even hurt it if you're going too fast. Okay?
Thanks.
Interesting. I had never even thought of that. Right.
We got one hand up. Go ahead and unmute yourself and ask a question if you like.
Hi. Firstly, thank you so much for doing this, Daniel and Team UKC. This was beautiful. This was so meditative. The question I wanted to ask is, from a very listening point of view and from a scientific point of view, when we are creating arpeggios, I wanted to understand why does it, even though we are repeating the same pattern and again, probably chord progressions, but why does it still make such a big impact, even though it's so monotonous, right? While we are playing, like it's the same thing playing again and again and again. But even after that, why does it not seem monotonous? Like, for example, when you're listening to a song, it gets monotonous after a while. Why is it not the same case when we are playing arpeggios, even though it's actually the same thing again and again?
Right. If you programmed this exact music on a synthesizer, it would get boring very quickly. But the fact that someone's breathing life into the music and changing just a little bit, it's almost like blues. You hear the same progression over and over and over, but everyone loves blues because it resets itself at the beginning each time and it makes you feel good again.
Interesting.
I think, and that's what you were talking about is playing, infusing more of the musicality, not just playing the notes, but playing the music. So adding in dynamics, adding in some swells and some releases, some crescendos and decrescendos, even
Right.
speeding up a little bit and then slowing down. And you can time that with if you're directing someone to be taking deep breaths, you can time that with how you're pulling it up and then releasing.
Right. So check this out. Here's the end of Arpeggio Meditation. This is sort of meditative because it's happening over and over. But I get pretty bored with that. So watch this. You hear the music difference? That just breathe right into that.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
So that's why the ear and the breath and everything that should be in control of the way you practice, not trying to get the technique. Use your ear and enjoy.
And Daniel, show your thumb on, you were saying to put your thumb behind the neck on our Arpeggio Meditation. I just want to see if you could show me what your thumb placement is.
I put my thumb here all the time for any and every chord. It's just kind of straight up and down right there. And then bar chord. A lot of times if you play a bar chord and the way that it works the best, that's where your thumb should be. Because if you try to play a bar chord with it up here, it doesn't work. It just doesn't. Because you can't push down on the lower part. So you want it to be like a vice. So I'm just going to go like this. And then put my fingers on the strings and do stuff with my thumb. It follows right behind your middle finger kind of and just stays like a movable vice. Okay?
Thank you.
Amazing. And just a reminder to everyone, I'm going to put it in the chat, that you can find all of Daniel's, all of the books and the resources right on his website, danielward.net. I'm going to put it right in the chat right now.
Cool. Yeah. And
I highly, highly.
Yeah, and Heidi and I have come up with some really fun stuff too. There's a ukulele color along book that you can use recordings with your kids or with kids of any age. And there's also "'Tis the Season" book, which is holiday songs from all over the world. Stuff from Sweden, we got one in Tagalog, we got stuff in Spanish and German and all sorts of cool stuff you might not have seen around Christmas before. And that one is illustrated too. Kind of old style, block printy, kind of cool looking stuff.
It's really all right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you to Daniel. Everyone, give a round of applause, virtual, all the things. Thank you all so much for being here. Reminder that if you had registered on Eventbrite, then I already have your contact information so I can send out the recording to you. If you did not, please email me, stephanie@theukc.org, so I can make sure that I get you on the list so that I can get the recording out to you. And if you have other people who you think may be interested, have them email me and I can email out this link. Daniel's website is danielward.net. The Ukulele Kids Club website is theukc.org. So make sure that you check out both his website, following him on social media, and for the Ukulele Kids Club, following on social media. We have UKC Academy classes every month, and we will be starting twice a month very soon. There are tons and tons of ukulele resources that are both color-coded and non-color-coded on the UKC General Resources, as well as our brand new UKC at Home program, which is for targeted toward all of the children and families that we work with. But it's also really appropriate for music therapists, ukulele players, music volunteers, anyone really. We partnered with Uketropolis to be able to provide free ukulele lessons and tutorials, as well as some teaching tips and tricks and classes and workshops, and some other really exciting things coming down the pipeline that should be announced pretty soon once we get the go ahead to make it public. So have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday and Memorial Day weekend, and stay safe. We have another UKC class coming up in just a few weeks with Stuart Yoshida, talking about the history and the origin of the ukulele, and intermixing some very traditional ukulele music and playing in there as well. So keep an eye out on your email, as well as the UKC's social media and our newsletters for all of the Eventbrite links, so you can register for that. And I think that's all I got for you. Enjoy your Saturday. Happy Memorial Day, and keep uking, keep playing.
Yay, great to see everybody. I see some old friends here too, and it's fantastic. So, yay!